I believe that the King James is where God's preserved his word for the English-speaking people. Now, a lot of people in the world speak English. The King James has it's the top-selling book of all time. It's the most printed book of all time. And I would say this, it's the greatest book of all time. So as far as like English-speaking people, it's the Word of God. And so where other versions will deviate from the text, there are Textus, so there's the issue of the text. So you got the Textus Receptus, which basically means the received text. The text that was used down from the ages, when it was first written down in Greek and Hebrew, those are preserved in the Textus Receptus, okay? And so if you don't understand all that, well, I mean, you can watch the film New World Order Bible Versions that really nails it down for you. But I would say this, there's a textual problem. There's a textual issue between the modern versions and like the King James. So the textual problem is that they spliced a bunch of, they found old copies of Bibles in like a trash bin. Where else? They found them in the basement of the Vatican, the Roman Catholic whore of Babylon. So, can we trust things like that? Is the Word of God preserved in some ancient text that's found in a pottery vessel in the Middle East or something? But we just didn't have the right Word of God until somebody uncovered that, or somebody rescued it out of a trash can at the Mount Sinai monastery, or someone just happened to find the true Word of God in the Vatican in a basement someplace. I don't believe that. I believe that God's been allowing us to use his words from this generation and forever. So I believe that there's always been an inspired Word of God. Even if there was only just one copy, God still kept one copy available for people to use. If you think about Josiah, they found the Word of God when they were renovating the temple there. And Josiah, I don't know if that was the only version or the only Bible left in the world at that time. I doubt that, but I know that the people in Judah were not using it. They weren't using it. They found that word. They found the word of the Lord there in the temple. And when Josiah heard it, he made a lot of changes because the Word of God is very powerful. The Bible is powerful, and you can tell the difference between a powerful version of the Bible, like the King James, and some modern perversion where it changes things. So, what's a good example when it says, "He has shown thee, O human one," in some other version, so that they can make sure that it's, instead of saying man, "He has showed thee, O man." And in the modern version it says, "He has showed thee, O human one." I mean, that sounds like a robot is teaching you or something. So the Word of God is powerful. I mean, we have to take it by faith. We have to take the Bible by faith that it is the Word of God. Obviously people will say, well, you use circular reasoning and saying that in the Bible it says it's preserved. But the fact that it is preserved, and one of the most readily available copies of the Word of God, there's thousands of different copies of the Word of God, and it's an ancient book. So in like Greece, we only have I think a couple copies of Homer's Odyssey. There's just not a lot of ancient books that are available for you to read. But you know what? The Bible stands the test of time.